Today, we're diving into a bold and dramatic tiki cocktail straight out of New York City's Paradise Lost, the Khali's Coffee Grog. Think coffee, rum, fire, and decadence all in a single mug. And let me tell you, this one is a showstopper. So stick with me till the end so we can uncover its history, make its iconic Gardenia mix, and recreate this flaming masterpiece. Khali's Coffee Grog actually harkens back to some of the old school coffee cocktails that we saw in traditional tiki. From Don the Beachcomber's Coffee Grog to the Mai Kai's Flaming Coffee Grog with its tableside service. It is a culmination and amalgamation of these two classic tiki cocktails into one absolutely beautiful masterpiece. Now, Paradise Lost has put its own twist on the Coffee Grog with its jasmine coconut cream, which adds a slight floral and green note to this cocktail. Now, the cocktail is actually named after the narrator of the menu at Paradise Lost. And if you've ever wanted to bring the drama of a tiki bar into your own home, this is 100% the cocktail for you. Now, the reason I even came across this cocktail was because I was looking for kind of like after dinner drinks that I might want to make for myself after a heavy feast, such as the holiday coming up, Thanksgiving. Now, before we light things up, let's see what we actually need to make Khali's Coffee Grog. So to make Khali's Coffee Grog, you're gonna need an overproof Demerara rum, preferably Hamilton 151, an overproof Jamaican rum, preferably Smith & Cross, jasmine coconut cream, Gardenia mix, cold brew concentrate, and a lemon and an orange. Now, before we get into making this cocktail, we're gonna need to make two separate ingredients, and that's the Gardenia mix and the jasmine coconut cream. I'm going to post the recipes down in the description below. First up, let's tackle the Gardenia mix. Now, I've done plenty of videos on Gardenia mix, but this is the way that Paradise Lost makes their Gardenia mix, which is honestly quite unique compared to some of the other recipes that I've seen online. To make the Paradise Lost Gardenia mix, in a Ziploc bag, add 100 grams of water, 3.5 grams of Ceylon cinnamon, 3.5 grams of cassia cinnamon, 0.5 grams of allspice berries, and 0.7 grams of chopped up vanilla bean. Put into a sous vide bath at 195 degrees for 1 hour. After the bath, take it out, strain it, and let it cool to room temperature. Then in a blender, add the infused water and 0.85 grams of 210S. Blend until emulsified. Now add 43 grams of melted unsalted butter and 43 grams of melted salted butter. Blend again until emulsified. Now add 86 grams of honey, 5 grams of sugar, 4.5 grams of pimento bitters, and then blend on high until everything has incorporated. Now pour into a sanitized bottle. This makes about 250 milliliters. Keep in the fridge and use within 1 week. Now, this Gardenia mix is gonna add a nice savory, almost like Christmas spice note and a lot of texture to this cocktail. So I'm super excited to see how it turns out, because honestly, out of all the Gardenia mixes I've made, this one might be my favorite. Now on to making the coconut cream. This is a pretty standard kind of Smuggler's Cove recipe, except it does have the addition of Jasmine Essential Oil, which brings up a whole nother topic. Essential oils in cocktails, or are essential oils safe? And the answer is yes. And before you ask what are food safe essential oils, they don't exist. Essentially what you're looking for is a pure 100% essential oil. And I have a couple of distributors that I use. If you want those links, feel free to let me know and I'll be more than happy to shoot them over to you. But either way, we're gonna be making their jasmine coconut cream. I'm gonna be 100% honest, right off the bat, tasting this coconut cream, it's not my favorite. The jasmine is very present, but I'm curious to see how it turns out in this cocktail. To make the Paradise Lost jasmine coconut cream, in a blender, add 320 milliliters of coconut milk, 300 grams of sugar, 0.4 grams of salt, and 2 drops of jasmine oil. Now blend on high until all the sugar is dissolved, about 2 minutes. Pour into a sanitized bottle. This makes about 500 milliliters. Keep refrigerated and use within 1 week. Now, this jasmine coconut cream is going to add a wonderful coconut flavor and wonderful texture from that coconut milk, and it's gonna add that nice little floral and green note. I'm just hoping it doesn't overpower the cocktail, but we're gonna have to wait and see. All right, now it's time to bring it all together and make the magic happen. But before I do that, I wanna talk about one other thing because of the way that I'm going to build this. The way that they do it at Paradise Lost is they combine their cold brew concentrate and their Gardenia mix into what's called grog mix. They keep it behind the bar in a heated water bath so that it's ready to pour right into your coffee mug. I'm doing the same thing. Right over here, I have my grog mix, which is pre-mixed, chilling in a nice hot water bath. So I'm basically gonna use that. So we've condensed 2 ingredients down into 1. Now, one of the other things that we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to temper a coffee mug. So basically to do that, we're just gonna pour some hot water. I'm gonna use my same water bath. And basically you wanna let it sit and kind of absorb the heat for probably about 2 minutes or so. All right, so we've tempered our coffee mug. Let's make the cocktail. To make Khali's Coffee Grog in your tempered mug, add 7.5 ounces of our grog mix. To that, add 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters of our Jasmine coconut cream. Now we're gonna stir just to combine that a little bit. Now in a Turkish coffee pot, add 1/2 ounce or 15 milliliters of Smith & Cross. 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of our Hamilton 151. Now in the Turkish coffee pot, add 1 twist of orange and 1 twist of lemon. And now we light it on fire. Using a set of tongs, take the twists out and put it into the glass. Add a cinnamon stick. Now slowly pour the flaming rums into the mug. And there we have it, Khali's Coffee Grog. Now, unfortunately, it is very light in here, so the flame didn't really do much, but I can smell the aromatics from that rum and from the citrus peels, and it is super fragrant and so tempting and inviting. Now, let's see how this cocktail actually tastes. All right, that is a really awesome, balanced, and super complex cocktail. Right up front, there is this burn, but it's coming from the fact that we're drinking a warm cocktail, right? There's ethanol in this, there's alcohol, so that adds to the burn, and the coffee and the grog mix are warm. So there's definitely this burn. And with the sugar, you get more of this burn than you would with just drinking a regular coffee. If you've ever had like a Don's Coffee Grog or Mai Kai's Flaming Coffee Grog, you know that there's this kind of like sting on the back palate. But right up front, you get a lot of that rum and that Jamaican funk and that kind of like caramelized sugar from the Demerara rum. Then I'm getting these wonderful spice notes from the Gardenia mix. Then it leads way into coconut, and the jasmine is there, but it's not overpowering, which is super nice. I was honestly a little afraid about that. Overall, this is a great cocktail to have in place of a after dinner coffee. It is boozy, it is strong, it is slightly sweet, and it is full-blown coffee, plus the theatrics are super awesome. Now, there's a lot that goes into this cocktail. I mean, in order for me to prep this, it took me pretty much half of a day between making the coconut cream and making the gardenia mix. And I know that's a lot, but if you wanted to cheat and not have to prep all day long for this thing, I suppose you could use a different gardenia mix recipe that's a little bit easier and make a standard coconut cream without the Jasmine Essential Oil. I don't think it's gonna be as complex as this, but it still would make for a very, very tasty cocktail. Anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, definitely make sure to click that little like button, subscribe to the channel, support the channel by following me over on Patreon, Instagram, and TikTok. And that's it, guys. Until next time, you know the deal. Take it easy.